we're going to see what it's like when we work with a negative coefficient. All right, so can you go ahead and show me where my coefficient is?
Sure.
Uh-oh. That's a negative number, and it's my coefficient. So the very first thing is step 1, remove the constant. Can you show me where my constant is? Put a box around the constant.
Okay.
Okay, we've got to get rid of the constant. So what do you think we need to do there? We need to perform the inverse operation.
What does inverse mean, Miss Esther? What's another word?
It's kind of like the opposite.
Oh, the opposite. Okay, so I have a -8, so you're telling me I need to do a +8 to get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Does that look right?
That looks great.
Okay. Now, these two are going to cancel, and I'm just going to bring everything else down. I get 24.
Okay, awesome. So you know that your next step would be to isolate the variable by performing the inverse operation. Well, go ahead and show me where the variable is.
Right here.
All right, so you know that whatever's beside the variable has got to go, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what's beside the variable?
A -3.
And it is doing what operation with that y?
Well, there's no symbol there, so I think that means it's multiplication.
Great. When it's multiplication, what would be the inverse?
The opposite would be to divide. And I'm going to draw my fraction bar because that means divide in math.
Great. So divide by -3. Divide by -3.
Okay. So those are going to cancel out, right? Because -3 divided by -3 is +1.
Great.
And we don't have to write the 1. And then I'm going to do 24 divided by -3. I need to remember my tic-tac-toe strategy. And I'm sorry, it's so sloppy. Okay, so a positive divided by a negative is a negative. So I should have -8. And I'm done.
There's one thing whenever you're dividing or multiplying by a negative number. That's where we go into step 3. Did I multiply or divide by a negative number?
I did. It was right here. I divided by a -3.
Okay. Whenever you divide or multiply by a negative number with inequalities, you actually have to flip the sign. Negatives a lot of times mean opposite, so what you're going to do is do the opposite direction too. So why don't you rewrite it with y,
Okay.
and then we're going to flip the whole sign.
Okay, so we're going to make it look backwards, like a mirror.
Yeah.
Like a reflection. Okay. And then what about this number? Does it change too?
It'll just,
Oh,
it keeps it right there.
Okay. Awesome.
So when I divide or multiply, I flip the sign. By a negative number, flip the sign.
Okay.
Okay. Now how does that read?
Y is less than or equal to. Can you finish that for me on that side? Thank you. So y is less than or equal to?
-8. Now, you can still go back to the original problem and check it using any number that's less than or equal to -8. What would be less than -8?
-9.
-9. Great. That's just a little less than, so we can go back to the original and say -3, and then put -8, where the y goes, -8 is greater than or equal to 16. Okay, and then we can just solve it using our order of operations. All right, first you're going to multiply negative and a negative.
So negative and a negative is a
Positive.
So that's positive 24.
24 minus 8 is greater than or less than 16. What's 24 minus 8?
24 minus 8. I got to draw it out like this. I can't do the mental math in my head. So I can't do 4 minus 8, so I'm going to borrow. And that turns to 1. 14 minus 8 is 16.
Okay, great. So now we're left with, I'm going to rewrite it over here. 16 is greater than or equal to 16.
Is that true?
That is. The bar underneath tells me that it can be equal to it. 16 is definitely equal to 16.
So then my solution is y is less than or equal to -8.